Good evening, Happy New Year, and a very warm welcome to Front Page on AIM Network, India's definitive media organization and voice on everything AI and technology. A few things have happened in the past few days that are worth paying attention to because when we put them together, they tell a way bigger story. Here are the headlines. 2.07 lakh crore rupees, 270 MOUs. Tamil Nadu is changing the script on how states grow. It's no longer just about Chennai. From deep tech to defense, the jobs are moving to the hinterlands. We decode the framework that's changing India's economic game. For 50 years, we exported talent. Today, we export the institution. IIT Madras just launched IITM Global with hubs across the United States, Europe, and Asia. This goes beyond a university expansion. It's India's new diplomatic operating system. The brain drain ends now, hopefully. And finally, Norwegian firm DSA Holding has signed a strategic pact to invest $2 billion in India's deep tech ecosystem. The deal will establish cutting-edge quantum computing parks in Gujarat and Noida to boost India's AI capabilities. Good evening. With elections on the horizon, the timing is spot on and unmistakable. Tamil Nadu just locked in its economic manifesto, and it's worth 2.07 lakh crore rupees. While the political machinery gears up, the state's industrial engine just posted its biggest numbers of the year. Minister TRB Raja confirmed the data. 270 MOUs, 4 lakh new jobs, 2.07 lakh crore rupees in commitments. These are signed contracts and they're coming just as the campaign season begins. The old model of Chennai-centric growth is now defunct. The state has altered the dynamic to distributed development. They are actually taking the infrastructure to the talent. First ever SIPCOT parks in Tenkasi, Madurai, Thiruvarur. New tidal new parks launching in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, signifying the inspirational change for the 20-something engineer that's probably watching right now in those very cities. Which means one does not have to migrate to a metro to build a career. The tech parks are arriving in all their glory to your hometown. A 2,000-acre TIDCO global city near Chennai anchors it all. But the real story is now actually starting to read beyond Chennai. The portfolio is strictly high-tech: aerospace, Agnikul Cosmos, the defense corridor, maritime, HD Hyundai, Mazagaon dock, building the next generation of ships, electronics, TD Connex. A clear indication highlighting electronics sovereignty. They are amplifying focus on the entire supply chain, where the thrust will be on manufacturing components and not just assembling them. In addition to that, 50 new Global Capability Centers, GCCs, established in 2025 alone, consequently absorbing 10 million square feet of office space. This is where the high-paying jobs will be thriving. And as we know, capital follows clarity. Tamil Nadu secured these wins with specific niche policies. Here they are: maritime policy, space industrial policy, toy manufacturing policy, and the first ever electronics components scheme. They stacked manufacturing, design, research, and data into one power block. The result? Ranked number one in ease of doing business by The Economist and the top achiever under Business Reform Action Plan, BRAP, which is, well, quite impressive. And now, of course, it is time on Front Page for the Front Page take. Here it is. Voters want stability. Investors want returns. Tamil Nadu is betting it can deliver both in a space of only a few odd months, with, well, a minor point to be considered. That's if they're still in power. Because usually no ruling government puts their neck on the line with such a huge announcement so close to the elections. Although they have built an economy that blends heavy manufacturing with deep tech research and development. But with this latest move, another narrative comes to light. Generally, it is said that signing the MOU is the easy part. The challenges of converting those MOUs is where the real test lies. So, the challenge now for Tamil Nadu is speed. And the question which can be asked is, can the government ensure that the work on the ground is underway well before the polls open? That is the execution test, ladies and gentlemen. Please let us know what you think. Is this the winning formula for 2026? This is, of course, Front Page by AIM Network. Like, share, subscribe. Yes, it's with your support that we have breached 250,000. We want to go beyond and to infinity, and that can only happen with all of your love and support. And of course, always remember, think AI, think India, think AIM.
We are now officially launching IITM Global.
Good evening. You know, there was a time when IIT convocation photos were followed by the US visa photos. By the early 2000s, India was losing more engineers every year than it could absorb at home. We called it, unfortunately, brain drain. It defined a generation. But thankfully, sometimes narratives can change. When American universities went global, they didn't just export books, they exported culture, they exported influence, they shaped how the world saw America. Today, India has finally, hopefully, turned the tide. So if you've been watching Front Page, you know that this was coming. We told you IIT Goes Global was the next big play. Well, the wait is over. What's coming up isn't actually just a tie-up or a short exchange, a satellite campus, or a summer exchange program. This is India's first real multinational university move, a calculated move to plant flags in the United States, Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. Deep tech, startups, IP, diplomacy, all moving with the same weight as a trade deal. But before we break down the war room strategy, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. Well, that took you only about a second. But you know what it did? That has actually helped keep independent analysis like this alive and kicking. And now, of course, back to the development. So, what is IITM Global? When we declutter the press release jargon, it dawns upon us that this development goes far beyond just brick and mortar classrooms. Think of IITM Global as a wrapper, an operating system, if you will. It takes everything IIT Madras is already excelling at and pushes it into a global server. We are, of course, talking about the world's largest online BSc programs. We are referring to a research ecosystem that pulled in 4,500 crore rupees in sponsored research, 500 startups incubated, and a combined valuation of over $6 billion. And when we bring our attention to the intellectual property aspect, roughly one patent is being filed every single day. The goal reaches beyond just teaching students abroad. It actually aspires to take that IP, take those startups, and soft land them in foreign markets, which turns education into a global economic engine. So the question is, where is this engine going? Well, from up on the stage today, they laid out the map, and it is specific. First, the United States, California, and New Jersey. Question is why? Well, because that's where the money is. They're using the diaspora and alumni network to secure space. It creates a direct path for Indian deep tech startups into Silicon Valley without leaving India behind. Next stop, Germany. This one is serious engineering territory. A trans campus with TU Dresden, Carl Zeiss setting up its first global innovation hub outside Germany at IIT Madras. And this goes beyond student exchanges. It creates a straight path for startups like Flexora to enter the Indian market. Then comes Malaysia Semiconductors, a partnership with the Advanced Semiconductor Academy of Malaysia. They are building the steady supply of skilled engineering talent for the chip wars. Then we arrive in the United Kingdom, Durham University, sustainability, health, the high-end research game, and finally the UAE, Dubai. Backed by a $3 million grant, this one focuses on policy and future technology. They are partnering with the Dubai Future Foundation, connecting Indian scientists to the World Government Summit, asserting that science moves into governance. What is curious, though, is that why is the Foreign Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, standing at an engineering college launch? Well, because this is geopolitics. In a fireside chat that felt more like a strategy briefing, Jaishankar emphasized the home versus abroad mentality. He said, "You don't stop foreign policy because you have domestic problems," end quote. He reminded the room, when the rich world hoarded vaccine, India shipped them. That changed how the global south saw us. Now, he's applying that very logic to tech. He talked about the demographic cliff, which is the West is aging. They are running out of people. India is not, clearly. Jaishankar called India a human resource power. But he drew a red line on Atmanirbharta. He said we can't be protectionist, but we also can't open all windows and let everyone and anyone just walk in, end quote. He cited 5G. We built our own stack because, well, dependence was a security risk. IITM Global is the offensive play, if we read between the lines. So let's just not protect the fort, let's just expand the territory. So what does this mean for you and me and all of us? Well, we will try and shed light on that with the front page take. Global scale, local roots. This is a great start to 2026. If this works, well, IITM Global becomes India's operating system for deep tech. For the student watching this, it means global classrooms without the debt trap. For the founder, yes, it means you can incubate in Chennai and scale in Berlin, Dubai, or Jersey with institutional backing. We all know very well that at times, a little painfully also, it's a reminder. We used to send our best talent to the world. Now, our best institutions are traveling to where the world is. We would definitely like to know, what do you think in the comments below? The point is this the master stroke Indian education needed, or are we spreading ourselves too thin? Well, this is Front Page by AIM Network. Like, share, subscribe, and always remember, think AI, think India, think AIM. This is Front Page by AIM Network. We are proud to say that we have been at the forefront of tracking quantum computing. And tonight, that story just got a massive boost. A Norway-based European investor, DSA Holding AS, has signed a letter of intent to invest up to $2 billion into India's quantum and deep tech ecosystem in partnership with Norway'S Ventures. Norway'S Ventures is an India-based venture builder working with founders and institutions in deep tech, from quantum to frontier technologies. It actually helps turn early ideas into real working businesses, and it's been doing it for a while. And of course, this is one of the largest private investment commitments ever proposed in India's quantum ecosystem. The commitment includes support for Greater Karnavati Quantum Computing Technology Park, Greater Noida Robotics Technology Park, Indraprasth Quantum Data Center, plus support for IIT Gandhinagar, JSS University, early stage deep tech startups working in quantum, AI, robotics, and advanced computing. So, which basically indicates that this is an ecosystem construction. Then we come to another critical layer, which is alongside this letter of intent, Norwegian Green Solutions AS has signed an MOU to power these tech parks and data centers using renewable energy ecosystems. This is truly very encouraging. And of course, joining us today is Sumant Parimal, founding partner of Norway'S Ventures, who of course will help us understand this a lot better. A bit about Mr. Sumant. He is a very senior global industry leader with 27 plus years of experience across business management, consulting, research, and execution of transformative technology and infrastructure projects. Today, he stands at the center of one of the most important developments in India's deep tech journey. Sumant sir, a very warm welcome to Front Page. We are thrilled to have you with us.
Thank you, AIM team. Literally thanks to the entire team and you for hosting me today and for bringing the insights of this great journey which we are doing in India to propel the speed of innovation through deep tech innovation.
Wonderful.
On behalf of my entire partnership ecosystem, I would like to thank you all. And you are one of the first person to break our earlier story also in 2021 when we actually proposed setting up the India's first quantum technology park in Gujarat. And again, we thank you and for this entire conversation.
Thank you so much. And it's a true pleasure having you with us, sir, on Front Page. Let's actually just set the context first for all of our viewers. How should India make sense of what just happened, Sumant sir?
Of course, this is the dedicated efforts of our Prime Minister Modi ji to project India as one of the global destination for global high-tech ecosystem, including semiconductor to electronics to now quantum computing, and of course, other areas like AI and deep tech. So its Inogress is one of the player of this entire ecosystem, which is getting built up by the dynamic leader of our Prime Minister, sir, and other tech leaders of India. And this is the 2 billion LOI which we got recently from one of the Norwegian holding company is the actually confidence shown to our business plan as well as our partners' plans. And of course, the biggest gainer is India. The country as a whole is a gainer because this is going to boost the further confidence of international investors in deep tech. So in classical technologies, so far in electronics and other IT, we have a lot of funding coming across the borders, particularly in consumer technologies and fintech technologies. But when it comes to deep tech, these are the first big ticket outside FDI coming to India. I mean, still it is in channel, it's still in pipeline. I'll say it's only LOI so far. We have to make it to happen with all our efforts, combined efforts. Thank you so much.
Given your experience of more than 27 years, sir, we do not have even a shade of doubt for that converting. But before I move on, very quickly, I would like for you to please share with all of us, how does Norway'S Ventures feel? Because it's a big win. As I mentioned earlier, that this is the biggest investment yet as far as the quantum ecosystem of India is concerned. And at the center of it all is Norway'S. Of course, you have shown gratitude towards the Prime Minister and, of course, the entire ecosystem. And, of course, the country is very, very happy. But very quickly, if you would like to please share your sentiment as Norway'S Ventures, it would be nice.
Yeah, so we are working in deep tech ecosystem creations almost now 10 years. So it's not one day achievement. We are working since year and year, without recognition, without any critical support. But slowly the ecosystem is falling around and supporting us. And now the Gujarat government recently signed the MOU with us for creating this Greater Karnataka Quantum Computing Tech Park venture. As a venture, and they are likely to partner. We have already invited them to be part of this SPV. So yesterday, when news broke that in Gift City, the Gujarat government is promoting an AI center in PPP model, similar kind of model. We are looking forward for the Greater Karnataka Quantum Computing Tech Park also, where the private players like Innovation and partners actually collaborate with the government players like Department of Science and Technology, Government of Gujarat, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, IIT Gandhinagar and couple of other institutions and government supported organization like model for bringing investors and innovation in a tech park format. So that is our agenda. We don't want to move alone. It's not only Innograce projects, but it's the projects of the entire nation, entire partner ecosystem, and entire tech entrepreneurs. So tech entrepreneurs are our biggest assets. So this entire park which we are promoting in Gujarat are by the tech entrepreneurs, for the tech entrepreneurs, and for the tech professionals. So I'll attribute to them.
Nice. And very, very encouraging, sir. So,
Thank you.
of course, as we move on, Shri, I'd like to understand the fact that what fundamentally changed in the global perception of India that allowed a $2 billion commitment like this to happen now.
So if you see,
Few things. Is this confidence in policy, sir, capability, or the market opportunity, or for that matter, execution maturity?
so I'll say all four combined. It's the policy confidence. Of course, I mentioned during the start of my discussion that ultimately is the efforts of Prime Minister Modi ji, which is actually helping us to make this kind of traction, right? And second thing, the hunger for growth. Now, India is actually creating hunger for growth in not only in the consumer tech, fintech, and the brick and mortar based business ecosystem, but also in deep tech ecosystem. So that hunger is also driving. And the third, of course, is the large economy of India. Now today it's standing at the fourth in the worldwide, the fourth in the GDP. So that is attracting the global investors. There is money in Europe and America, but there no scale there. In America, you can have still a scale, but if you see the European countries, so the money is there, but the scale is not there. So it's for the market, they are coming to India. But the good thing is, earlier, the end products used to see the market in India, but now the end products are going to be manufactured here in India under the Make in India initiative of Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji. But at the same time, the funding gap which India has is coming from some of the countries like Norway is one of our partner countries. Similarly, UK is also our partner country. Germany is also there. So these are the countries which are going to bridge the capital gap we are having for innovating and progressing the deep tech sector in India.
Sir, I wanted to just very quickly ask you, $2 billion is a huge amount of an investment. We are, of course, at the LOI stage right now, as you just mentioned. Of course, a lot of your work will start now for it to start to get converted. But would you maybe be able to shed light, if possible, that will this investment come through in a phased manner? How will it work in terms of the way it will, from here, start to take shape?
So I will add here that 2 billion is tips of the iceberg. If we have to build the large ecosystem of the deep tech technology and make India one of the leading nation in deep tech, then probably we have to inject over 10 billion US dollar in this entire ecosystem. So our own three projects, which you have seen, starting from Greater Karnataka Quantum Technology Park, India first quantum technology park, which we proposed to government of Gujarat in Vibrant Gujarat 2022. So that itself will require $5 billion plus to give it a shape. The reason because the compute infrastructure and the deep tech facility creation and the infrastructure building is very costly right now. So if you consider bringing a quantum computer, of course, India is also developing its own quantum computer. But I'm saying if good technology, some partner quantum computers are brought to India, that itself will require, one quantum computer may require around $200 million to $300 million of investment. So in data center, a quantum data center, we will be bringing, hundreds of quantum servers as an AI server. So these are the big capex game, And similarly, if we are installing the quantum chip fabs in Dhulera, Gujarat, so for even one technology, now you understand there are 4 or 5 quantum technology. Even one technology fab is required up to thousands of crores rupees of investment. So if we are installing 4 to 5 type of fabs, starting from superconducting to photonics to atom trap to spin qubits. So it will, the fab itself may cost 5,000 crore rupees of bill.
Wow.
So these are the deep tech investment you can see, but of course not as big as semicon. So if you see the semicon fabs, they're more costly. It is attracting up to $5 billion, up to $5 billion capex. You know, one fab is under build up at the Dhulera by Tata Electronics. So if you see their capex, that is a huge capex. So of course we are not even talking about that level of capex. We are still, bit smaller compared to semiconductor capex, right? But
it's
of
a
course,
good start, sir. It's a
yes,
great
yes.
start.
So 2 billion is not enough. We have to raise many
Agreed.
more such big tickets investments and interest from the global investors.
Fair enough. But with this start, and of course, your experience, and of course, the way the entire policies are working, I'm pretty sure we should be able to start achieving that in a lot quicker now. I just wanted to now come to this fact, sir. You had, of course, mentioned the Karnavati project. You had mentioned the Greater Noida robotics. You, of course, then there are the collaborations with IIT Gandhinagar, JSS University, and the startups, etc. So the first thing I'd like to ask you is, how do these pieces come together? Are we building research hubs, commercial platforms, sovereign tech capacity, or a fusion of all three?
So it's essentially fusion of all three, though research are happening right now in IITs, including IIT Gandhinagar, IIT Mumbai, which have been declared as one of the hub under the National Quantum Mission for the sensing. And similarly, in IIT Kanpur is also our collaboration partner as well as partner in the National Quantum Mission. And similarly, we are also in discussion with IIT Bangalore, which have been declared as a quantum computing hub. And CDOT, along with IIT Madras, they have been declared as quantum communication hub. IIT Delhi being declared as, quantum material hub. So all these four hubs and other associated IITs, we are collaborating with them. We are not looking for anything. We are not into a mode of ekla chalo. Rather, we are a more collective effort. And they all need the money, because what I feel that even the NQM money is not sufficient to catalyze the kind of innovation and the productization we need in National Quantum Mission, right? So even we propose to National Quantum Mission that, hey, even if you deploy small capital out of the national budget you have for the National Quantum Mission in our this ecosystem, park ecosystem, we will make sure that we will attract the large FDI based on those investments, fueling the growth of the tech infrastructure, deep tech infrastructure in India, right? So we are requesting these kind of PPP model with the government of Gujarat as well as the government of Uttar Pradesh and of course the government of India also, right?
So of course, आपने कहा sir, ekla chalo is not the approach, मगर चरे वेती for sure is the approach. I'm pretty Of course, before I move on to the quantum mission alignment aspects, sir, I very quickly wanted you to shed light on this, sir. What does this ecosystem, as you mentioned, actually look like in operational terms? How will that work?
So I'll tell you, I mean, see, the fund is arriving at the venture level, and before that, we want couple of our holding funds in the European location. Those are the financial big centers like in Singapore or London, even this Netherlands-based funds and this Norway-based funds. So these are the financial hubs. So there we are actually creating a routing pipeline which are compliant with the RBI FDI policies. So then these funds are landing to the Inaugural venture, and then Inaugural venture routing these funds and deploying these funds in its SPV and ecosystem. So essentially 3 SPVs and are 3 and maybe more. We have to couple of more SPV we have to form. So apart from that, these the partnership with our startups. We have now around 30 plus quantum startups under our umbrella in this ecosystem. So now these startups required funding. So most of these startups are early stage startups. So though they have applied for National Quantum Mission Fund and ANRF funds and other government of India and state government funds, but these funds are not significant. So they need even 10 crore plus kind of funding. So we are trying to bring those funds also through the Norway'S venture route. So the entire operational mechanism is that this venture arm is going to fund the SPVs, project SPVs, which you have already taken the name, that is in Gujarat, Greater Karnataka Quantum Technology Park, in UP, Noida Robotics Technology Park, and one data center we have planned in quantum space in UP, in Noida, that is Indraprastha Quantum Data Center, right? Of course, so these are the projects through which this project SPV, for which this venture arm will be routing the fund. And another routing will be the startup fund of fund under the Innograce umbrella, which will be routing the fund to our startups. So as I said, 30 plus quantum startups are part of our ecosystem, and most of these startups are urgent need of the fund to sustain their innovation, what they are doing. Otherwise, in next 1 to 2 years, they will die if the funding is not provided to them.
Wow. Wow. So very crucial and a very critical role that is being played right now as far as Inauguris is concerned. So now, of course, coming to the mission alignment aspect, where does the quantum mission alignment aspect, where does this DSA holding partnership plug in, sir? Does it accelerate the national quantum mission, complement it, or expand its ambition beyond what was originally planned?
So, National Quantum Mission, I'm not authorized to comment too much, but yeah, I was one of we were, including my startups, were applicant to most of these proposals which are coming, funding proposal which are coming under National Quantum Mission. So, so of course, see, if this FDI gets executed, I mean, we are still at the LOI phase.
Which it will, sir. Fingers crossed, trust me.
Yeah, so LOI to final mandate takes some time because a lot of due diligence need to be done. A lot of DPR and costing, cost aspects and cash flow aspects need to be done. So these FDI is going to actually propel the innovation which are happening through National Quantum Mission. So these are essentially in alignment because the innovations are right now at mostly in TRL3 level, TRL3 to TR4 level in most of the labs which are getting funded through National Quantum Mission. Our idea is to set up largest productization facility in quantum technology and deep tech in these two parks, so that whatever innovations are happening in these IITs and National Quantum Mission funded startups and labs get productized and commercialized at the park. So we'll do the large scale manufacturing, large scale integration, and setting up the large scale global supply chain based from Indian states like Gujarat, UP, and maybe the other locations also. So the entire thing is happening in hub and spoke model. So a hub is, of course, there are a couple of hubs. Of course, one is hub is Innograce Ventures. Then other hubs are hubs which are funded by National Quantum Mission. So we are looking forward to operate along with them and collaborate along with them. And then spokes are like SPVs and other institutions like IIT Gandhinagar and other partner institutions and partner startups. Through that, the hub spoke model, we will strengthen this entire national deep tech ecosystem and quantum tech ecosystem.
Great shot in the arm, sir, the way you explained it right now to us and, of course, the audience, that it's a great shot in the arm for the overall ecosystem, which brings me to this thought, which is that as far as the global competition is concerned, you just mentioned a while back regarding the fact that India definitely has the talent and you'd compared it with America. But with this particular thing, where does India stand today in that race, truly? And does this deal push India into the top tier of quantum and deep tech nations?
So, of course, see, the global race is on right now for becoming the tech leadership. So earlier we understand, I have grown in American-driven technology ecosystem, and to some extent, European-driven technology system also. When I started my career as a tech professional in early 90s, we had mostly the protocols coming from Europe. Tech protocols and tech devices coming from Europe or America. We hardly any Chinese-based technologies, the devices available in those times. But we could see in the last 10 years how China evolved. Now in quantum tech, they are actually giving the true competition to US. So leadership slots are actually evolving from, what we say, musical armchair chair race between America and China. So sometimes you find that China is ahead of America, So So if India has to get into topmost slots, then it has to not only compete with the American ecosystem, but also with the Chinese ecosystem and Chinese technology standards.
Sir,
So
इसमें एक sorry,
we
you
need,
were saying, sorry, sorry.
yeah, yes.
No,
Please,
sorry,
please.
go ahead, sir. Please go ahead.
So
I lost you for a second. That's why.
one of the challenges not only know-how, but the speed of execution is also very important to keep
Fair.
India into topmost slot. So right now we are lacking the speed of innovation. To be very frank with this, even conceptualizing such kind of project and bringing to this stage took 4 to 5 years for us.
Wow.
So
Wow.
which is not good. Which is not good. So China is doing everything in within 1 year.
Wow. Fair enough. Fair point, sir. So I guess we understand this very clearly that where we stand today is that we really need to, pull our socks up and make sure that the speed of execution is something that is given a hell of a lot of onus. Which brings me to this very quickly, sir. अगर आप बता सकें इसके बारे में regarding the fact that अगर there is a delay or there is a speed of execution में there is a problem, the logical point, the brain goes to the aspect of brain drain. For example, if it's there but it's not still under execution, is still not started, so does that at some level or the other maybe discourage the talent? How do we retain the talent, develop advanced capacity at home, and make deep tech careers viable domestically? Very quickly, if
So
you could please tell us that.
So when we announce about this kind of venture on social media, a lot of NRI-based tech professionals shows interest to get involved in that. So that is a significant change. So they are looking forward to come home to build similar kind of tech capabilities in India. So, but I say only problem here is that we don't have that much capital available to attract such kind of talent,
Sure.
and also the environment is not up to that mark. But of course, if we work on the overall environment, facilities here in India, and also the funding, I mean, their aspiration to earn higher. If we can fulfill these 2 3 parameters, then
Understood.
they can be easily targeted for coming back to India.
Which is fine. And I think you've really highlighted a lot of very important aspects. And I'm pretty sure the people who are the policymakers and because you yourself, sir, are part of that entire system. So I'm sure you're constantly reminding them of these things. And of course, whatever initiative that you are taking as far as Inauguris Ventures is concerned. What is the timeline looking like, sir? If I were to talk about 12 months, 3 years, and 1 decade, what does success look like for you?
So of course, it is not going to be a big bang thing because I said we lack in the capability like China. China is known for big bang transformation and big bang execution of projects. So I myself have gone for executing IT projects in China. I've seen the kind of commitment the Chinese engineers and workers are giving for building their nation. We are not working that much hard. And of course, I don't want to touch that point. That point was several times touched by Honorable Narayan Murthy ji. But my point is that we should be in urgency mode to build our country if we want to be tech leader. Otherwise, we will be very good mass consumer, right? So, so if you believe that my 1 year timeline is to make things moving, so right now we have just started some operation in the Karnauti this thing project by incubating our few startups and partners in IIT Gandhinagar and also in Ahmedabad area. But I think that speed we have to multiply. So, some procedural gaps and hurdles we face here and there. So I think the bureaucratic channel need to be aligned with this entire flow of the project so that there is not even a single day delay in wherever we need the help of government or the local administration.
Sure.
So like now there is a big procedure for applying to land and getting the land and taking possession of land. Then the funding problem. They will ask to like UP government. We have requested them so many times that you should actually like, kind of give some consideration in. We are also startup mode, so we will not be able to do similar kind of paperwork like big corporate does for applying to the land. So just give us some support out of the way. But now they afraid that if they support out of the way, then their job will be in problem. So these are like typical,
Unfortunate.
सेफ वाला जो अपना नौकरी करो वाला जो अप्रोच है, इज एक्चुअली उनका नौकरी तो सेफ हो रहा है, बट देश सेफ नहीं हो पा रहा है. देश के प्रति काफी चैलेंजेस इमर्ज हो रहे हैं, बिकॉज वी आर नॉट सेफ in quantum security. We are a constant threat from China if the tech security is concerned.
Sure.
तो अभी हमारा स्पीड काफी बढ़ाना चाहिए. We need to move fast.
Understood, sir. Of course, in conclusion, sir, I mean, the points that you've raised are so poignant and very serious. But if we were to, for example, ask you this finally, what is your expectation, given the fact that you have been dealing with all of this? But of course, there has been a big encouraging investment which has been made of $2 billion. I do understand you said it's just the tip of the iceberg, but at least a good start. How are you looking at 2026 as per as your expectations are concerned?
2026, of course, is going to be very hopeful year for us, not only for us, our all partner. One of our key partner, E-Green Quanta, just a few days back, they have got very encouraging news for their quantum radar project. So the Indian Defense Forces have actually started giving seed funding to them for developing the quantum radar. Similarly, couple of our partner startups like S-Cube and Hanron Space. The Hanron Space startup recently got incubated under our ecosystem, Park ecosystem at IIT Gandhinagar. They are also working in quantum sensors. So they are getting the traction from ISRO and DRDO, defense organizations. So these our own Indian organizations are coming forward and to safeguard the national security, and they are trying to invest into quantum tech ecosystem and startups. So that is a great news for us. And Innogress is there to enable such partners from funding as well from the facility creation in the park. Right. So we Innogress are for facilitating such kind of startups and the huge cases which are coming from Indian government, Indian defense, Indian enterprises. There are a lot of huge cases are going to come in quantum technology, and so those huge cases we are also going to kind of strengthen through this entire ecosystem which we are building.
Fabulous. Sir, thank you so much for being here with us on Front Page. I just have to say this, it has been truly a very educational discussion that we've all had. I'm pretty sure our viewers also would be very, very excited to hear all of the developments. Also, some areas of concern, as you mentioned, but of course, we at Front Page wish you, Inauguris Ventures, the entire ecosystem, a very happy new year. And thank you so much for ending the discussion on a high note, on something which is aspirational.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the entire AI team and you, and really I wishing you all from Innogress and our partners a very happy new year to you all, and
Yes,
we look
sir.
forward to working and collaborating together to keep this traction happening, in quantum space and AI and deep tech space, and so that it achieves the new heights in innovation and tech leadership. Thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Pleasure. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The gentleman who's a veteran. He's been with more than 27 plus years of experience. He spoke about the fact that, yes, it is a good start, but it is just the tip of the iceberg. We need to accelerate. We really need to bring in speed of execution. There is a musical chairs which is going on between the United States and the fact that, and China. But India needs to, of course, pull up its socks as far as policy, as far as the entire ecosystem is concerned, to really surge ahead and make sure that we are starting to make an impact. I'd just like to leave us with a very encouraging note, as he had just mentioned. He mentioned it is not Akla Chalo, but it is definitely Chare Veti, Chare Veti. This is Front Page on AIM Network. Like, share, subscribe. Of course, think AI, and as we always say this with a lot of pride, think quantum, think AIM.